My name is Thomas Hitchcock, and today I'm going to be teaching you about the basics of pickleball. The origins of the sport go back to 1965 on Banbridge Island, where the game was invented by Joel Pritchard and friends. According to CNN, in March of this year, pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the U.S. First, I'll be talking about the different parts of the pickleball court. Right here you have the right service area. Right over here you have the central line. And right over here you have the left service area. Over here you have the baseline, and then you have another baseline on the other side as well. And right over here you have the kitchen. In order to play pickleball, you need different pieces of equipment, ranging from, good shoes such as a tennis shoe, as you don't want to cause injury by rolling your ankle. You also need a pickleball paddle, which can be range from different materials such as graphite or polymer, and ranges from different sizes depending on a player and what style they may play. And then you also have a pickleball, which has many different holes in them and is made out of a hard plastic or polymer, and it doesn't bounce very high, as you can see, compared to a tennis ball, which bounces much higher. The sport of pickleball is played from the first to 11, and you must win by 2 points. In order to start off a pickleball match, you must serve it to the opposite service area, and your foot must stay behind the line and the ball must land in the opponent's service area. And if that doesn't happen, it results in a fault. There are different kinds of faults, such as service faults. If the ball doesn't land in the opposite box, or if the ball, when you're serving, lands on the kitchen, or if you don't hit it twice, meaning that the ball must bounce on your side and your opponent's side when your opponent is returning. And then some of the returning faults range from hitting it into the net, hitting it out of bounds, and if you hit it in the kitchen, you cannot hit it in the kitchen in the air. You can only hit it in the kitchen if the ball bounces. And if you were to hit the ball behind the kitchen but your foot crosses the line, that would also result in a fault. There are two different ways to play pickleball. Two of the different ways are to play with singles, where you would play with one other opponent, or if you were to play doubles, where you would have a partner and your opponent would also have a partner. The scoring is a little bit different for doubles, and you can only score a point if your team or yourself, depending on if you're playing singles, has possession of the ball. But if you're playing singles or playing doubles, you can only have calling out the score. You have to call. So if the score was to be 0-0, you call out the score saying 0-0-1, as you are the first server. And then if the ball were to be faulted, it would then go on to your opponent when you first are serving, and they would call out the serve as well, and then it would go on to their partner and faulting, and they would call out the score, whatever the score would be. but when you switch after that, you would switch serving, and then it would come back to your side, and then the second person would call out whatever the score is, 0-0, and they would call out 2 because they are the second server, so they would be serving in the left service area, and they would switch depending on how many points they were able to maintain for their possession. Now I'll show you a couple ways of what a game may look like for pickleball. So because there's no one has scored yet, I'll start off by calling the score, which would be 0-0, and if we were playing singles, I wouldn't call out the score at all for the server because there's only one server. But if we're playing doubles, I would call out 0-0-1 because there's the first server, and then if there was another one after I faulted, it would be 0-0-2. So right now I'll call out the score, which is 0-0. And because I allowed it to double bounce, that would be a fault, so it would automatically go over to my opponent's possession. But in conclusion, pickleball is a very affordable sport that you can check your local park or local club that you may be a member of, as they will probably have some sort of pickleball if you're interested in playing. And if you don't have it at your local park or aren't a member of a club, you can go to your local sporting goods store and buy a kit that's very affordable. That includes a pickleball paddle, balls, and net.
Thank you.